Okay, Roderick, let's talk a bit about Doncaster then. What's the main thing you've noticed coming to Doncaster from Southall? Obviously you've been at Southall 6 years.
Just the scale of the place. The course is obviously twice as far around. You end up walking 3 miles instead of a mile and a half.
Big course, yeah.
And scale of the place stands, everything. Scale of the stables, with quite a lot more stables in the yard, and that's just the quality of the racing. It's just totally different sphere. Also managing the expectations that the trainers have on the turf. Flat trainers
compared to the fibre sand,
with the fibre sand, and compared with the jump tracks as well.
Yeah, definitely. So how many meetings are there here every year?
35 meetings, 25 on the flat, and 10 jumping.
10 jumping. So we start the year in January, don't we, with the Sky Bet, is it? First, the Sky Bet Chase.
Sky Bet Chase, followed by the Grimthorpe Chase Day. Then we've the Lincoln meeting. That's the first flat meeting.
That's the end of March.
End of March usually. Then with the big St Leger 4-day St Leger Festival in September. Then we close the year with the November handicap meeting.
Right, and that's 9th of November this year, wasn't it?
9th of November, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So again, the flat obviously is what dominates at Doncaster. Then it's quite a long flat season, really, from the end of March right the way through to November, isn't it?
It is quite a long season, but we're also looking to build on the national hunt season. The executive have a wish to increase the number of national hunt fixtures we have in jump meetings we have in a year. And there
were some very good horses here last year, weren't there?
Absolutely, we're really well supported. Again, the trainers like it's a with the exception of Rosehill, fairly flat, level galloping track, and decent run into the finish on both courses, and it is quite favoured by trainers of both codes.
Yeah. So talking of the courses, the jumps course runs around the inside, and then the flat courses we can see around the outside. So you've got the straight mile, haven't you?
We have, yep.
Yeah, so the flat course has got a straight mile, straight 7, straight 5 and 6.
Straight 5 and 6, and there's an extended 5 furlongs and extended 6 furlong races as well for horses that want a distance of a bit more, but not quite 6 or not quite 7.
Right.
So there are a number of starts on the straight course, and on the round course we've got around mile 2 furlongs, mile 4 furlongs, mile 6 and the 2 mile start.
Yeah, so obviously the St Leger's the mile 6 start, which is right at the start of the back straight, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
And then you drop down into the slight
mile 6 is just beyond the finish, just around the bend from the finish.
Yeah.
The St Leger start.
Yeah. And then you've got the mile 4, you said, is just before that dip in the back straight.
On the back straight, on the what we call it Bawtry Road, the part of the track that runs beside the Bawtry Road. Just a bit of a dip. Lowest part of the course is just beyond the mile 4 start, which is basically halfway along that straight. It's nearly a straight up the side of the Bawtry Road.
And then you start to climb up Rosehill. I mean,
like
you said as we walk round, it's quite a gentle climb on the flat, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a little bit steeper on the jump course because it is a bit tighter. You start to climb a little bit quicker. The round course, slightly gentler climb. Just after you start turning off the straight, you start climbing, and then you're soon passing the mile 2 start. Yeah. Mile 2 starts about 50 yards from the top of Rosehill.
Yeah. So they're coming out of the stalls uphill there, are they?
Absolutely, mile 2 they're starting with a climb.
And then they swing round to the left down at the top of Rosehill.
Just turn a little bit and then start turning down. They start quite a steepish descent really down Rosehill, and then they hit level ground within about half a furlong.
Yeah, I think it's the one thing I picked up is that everyone regards Doncaster as a very flat course, but Rosehill is quite an incline.
It is a bit of a climb, yeah. On a warm day as we've walked around today, you soon realise you're climbing.
Yeah. So it's to be taken into account if people are looking at the longer races, the mile 2, mile 4, mile 6.
Absolutely.
What's the longest race you do here?
2 miles.
The 2 miles. Yeah, and where's the start for that?
It's just before the finish.
Just before the finish on the home straight.
On the home straight, yeah.
Right. And then obviously we've got the St Leger. We'll do a separate video on the St Leger course itself. But in the winter we've got the jumps meetings, the 10 jumps meetings. They run around the inside. What type of fences and hurdles are they?
They're more traditional semi-permanent fences. One of the water jump is obviously permanent.
Yeah.
The water jump again is on the Bawtry roadside, and then traditional hurdles.
Right, yeah. And you, as I say, you're pretty well attended, aren't you? You have trainers sending horses from all over the country to Doncaster.
Absolutely.
Certainly on the flat you get
fairly high regard for a flat course. Again, because it's, as I said earlier, it's fairly regarded as fairly level galloping course that horses can get a proper wheel in, and there's a good straight run into the finish.
Yeah, and you do notice certainly at Doncaster, I noticed with the maidens here, they're very good quality maidens, aren't they? They seem to send some very good horses here.
We're very lucky in that respect, absolutely.
Yeah, and do you think it is because it's a wide course that gives the younger horses
gives them
a chance to settle and
plenty of room for them to get out of trouble, if you like. There's plenty of width, and it's just we're lucky in that we can grow quite a good cover in the grass, and lucky in that respect. So that's always encouraging for trainers if they see a decent cover.
And as far as watering goes, Roderick, so what sorts of facilities do you have for watering here at Doncaster?
We have 2 Briggs irrigators,
right,
and a length of tow line that we use in the areas where the Briggs can't get to.
Right. And as we're walking round, you were explaining there's certain areas of the course that you'll definitely try and, well, as you've learnt the course, you've known that there's areas that you water more than other areas, and
or areas that water a little less. There's certain areas in the straight course where the subsoil doesn't allow it to drain. There's a fleece between the 5 and the 6 that seems to retain the moisture. Have to keep an eye on where the wind's coming from as well, because the straight course, where it's protected by the grandstand and now also by the DBS sales stables, if the wind's coming from, if you like, the town direction, like that part of the track won't dry out as quickly as the rest of it, and so you have to be careful how you manage that if you are putting water on. But even if it's rained naturally, you'll find that if you don't keep an eye on it, that can dry out. You can end up with quite a little bit of an easy area, and then a quick area, and then an easy area, which you really want to try and avoid. So
yeah,
I attempted to interfere with that a little bit.
Yeah, just to make it even the whole way around.
Try to keep it even. Yeah.
Very even, yeah. And you were saying that the jockeys seem to think that coming down the centre's this golden highway, but you don't agree really with that.
I think, yeah, there is a danger that that's going to be self-perpetuating as well, because that in my experience this year, they've been tending to come down the centre, and
it compacts it more, so that
will compact it, so it will become quicker. But we do undertake quite a lot of aeration work on this course, as a matter of course, with slitting it and verti draining it, and that relieves any compaction. So really, whilst it should be even across, and whilst the jockeys will continue to try and
find the angle,
trying to find the angle, I don't think there's any serious advantage.
No, I mean there used to definitely be an advantage with the stalls, but again, you move the stalls across. You were saying that the low numbers are on the stands rail, but often you'll move the stalls across to the other side as well.
I've started just trying to spread the wear out a little bit, and put the stalls on the straight course. The stalls on the round course are always on the inside, but I've just started to put the stalls. Certainly on 2-day meetings, I've been trying to put the stalls on the inside for the first day of the meeting, then on the stand side for the second day of the meeting, just to try and spread the wear across the straight course.
Yeah, so it's protecting the ground again, is it?
Basically, we were maintaining an awful lot of ground beyond the turn into the home straight, that wasn't seeing a footprint. The first 2 or 3 meetings of the season here, when we've got big fields across the width of the track, you hardly saw a footprint down the first 3 or 4
they're all moving to one side.
They're all coming across to the centre and stand side rail.
And I noticed also when we walked round earlier that you've fenced off some of the St Ledger course. Is that just to protect that and make sure it's as good condition as it can be for the race? Or
this year, it's something that I will attempt to do every year if we can, but from going forward. But this year, everybody knows that we ran the first few fixtures in the spring in some fairly difficult conditions, and the inside of the round course. Straight course recovered quite quickly, but when horses are on the turn, they always kick it up a bit more than they do
and
on
they tend
the straight.
To bunch up as well, don't
they go in quite tight. So we took them off the inside line from mile 2 out, quite early on. I think we only raced once after the Lincoln meeting on the right inside, and we've moved them out again since then. And we are saving from mile 2 out until the round course hits a straight. Quite a bit of ground on the inside for the St Leger Festival.
And you said you rotate the straight mile and the round mile. You alternate those, or do you use one at the beginning of the season?
We seem to at the beginning of the season we keep on the straight, and then into June we run a few races from the round mile start, just to add a bit of variation, really.
Okay, well that's brilliant. Well, thanks for the insight into the course, and thanks for your time today, Rod.
Thank you.